Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. Today we're going to be going over the Huda Beauty palette. It's the Desert Dusk palette, and I received this in the mail probably a few days ago. I posted it on my Instagram, but I want to go ahead and do just a quick review on this palette, and then I've got a tutorial for you on this eye look that I did. And later on in the video, I'm going to be announcing the winner to the DesixKaty collection giveaway, so stay tuned for that. But we're going to go ahead and get started with the Huda Beauty palette. Okay, so this is the Desert Dusk palette. It's got like a foiled look to it, and it's got Huda Beauty right here, and it's in raised lettering. This is just beautiful packaging that this palette comes in. Okay, so let me go ahead and open it for you. And this is the actual packaging of the palette. And on the packaging are Huda's eyes, and it says Huda Beauty. It's also in raised lettering. But isn't that a beautiful, beautiful package? Her eyes are gorgeous. So it's made out of like a cardboard type packaging. And inside you have a mirror, and you also have this plastic piece that protects the shadows, and it's her eyes as well. Isn't that cool? It sits like this within the palette. So here are the shadows. Oh, they're so beautiful. These are some gorgeous, gorgeous colors for fall. I want to go ahead and do swatches of the shadows for you as we go through this review. Okay, so let's go ahead and go over the details of the palette. So in this palette comes 18 shades. There's 8 mattes, there's 1 glitter, there's 6 shimmer pearl shades, and there's 3 duochrome toppers. Now all these can be worn either by themselves, or they can be worn, you know, blended in together, layered over each other. And the toppers can also be worn by themselves. These aren't just so that you can place on top of eyeshadow. You can actually wear those by themselves as well. There's about 220 grams of product within this palette, and that's pretty good size. It's pretty much similar to what she had in the first palette. And I'll show you the first palette so we can just do a little comparison. So here's her first palette. It's the Rose Gold edition, and then here's the Desert Dusk palette. Now the difference between these palettes is this palette comes in a palette that has a clear plastic piece in the front where you can see the shadows, so it does not come with a mirror. And this one has a design on the front, and it comes with a mirror. So she added a mirror to this second palette, which I think was a great addition. So when you're using this for like travel, or if you're gonna be somewhere where you need a mirror, this is gonna be the perfect palette because it has the mirror attached to it. Now this is a great palette. This is one of my favorite palettes that I actually go for when I'm going for more of a warm look. I love her first palette. It has golds, it has like burgundies and reds, and it's just beautiful. So this is a great palette. If you're looking for a good warm palette, this is a great palette. As far as this palette is concerned, it's totally different than what she did before. This palette does have some warm shades, and it also has some cool shades here on the end, but for the most part, it's a beautiful palette going into fall and going into winter. So this is just gonna be perfect. So I'm gonna go ahead and go over some swatches with you, and I'm gonna swatch each of the shades based on what type of shade they are. So I'll go with the mattes first, and then I'll go into the other shades. So let's go ahead and start with the matte shades first. Blazing, Saffron, Amethyst, Oud, Amber, Eden, Musk, and Desert Sand. Turkish Delight, Angelic, Cashmere, Royal, Nefertiti, Blood Moon. Retrograde, Twilight, Celestial, and Cosmo. Okay guys, those were the swatches, and I'm telling you, they swatch beautifully. They go on so creamy. Now I know there's a difference between when you swatch it and when you actually apply it on your lid, but I'm telling you, I use the matte shades in the tutorial that I'm going to show you, and I use the Twilight, the topper shade. They were so easy to use. I mean, they're super blendable, super creamy, buttery. I mean, I really liked these shades. Now, the Cosmo Glitter, this shade here, that's gonna be a little bit more like the shades that she had in here. Some of these shades, like the Rose Gold, the Trust Fund, and 24K, these here, they were very soft. So it's more of a chunkier type formula. It's not as creamy as you would think, but it's still with that, you can use like a brush that has like some stiff bristles on it. You can actually apply it to your lid with that brush and use a type of like glitter glue, like either the Too Faced glitter glue or the NYX glitter glue, and dab that onto your lid and then apply that Cosmo to it. I don't think you'll have a problem if you do it that way. But if you're just gonna stick your finger in there and try to dab it on your lid, I don't think that's gonna work, because with the swatch, I was having a little bit of a hard time swatching that glitter. So just be careful with it. It's the only one in the palette that is like that. It has that mushy feel to it. But like I said, if you get a brush and you just little by little get a little bit of the product and put it on your brush and then put it on on your lid when it has that glitter glue on it, I think you'll be fine. Guys, these shades, every single one of them is creamy, buttery, just goes on beautifully. It's just a beautiful palette. So when I used this palette, I really liked how the colors blended very well together. The pigmentation was excellent on all these colors. Now, if you're looking at the toppers, if you'll notice when I did the swatches for the toppers, they are a bit sheer. So you can wear them by themselves, or you can top them over one of these eyeshadows or another eyeshadow that you have. But those are gonna be sheer. They're not as highly pigmented as like the mattes or the pearls. But the mattes and the pearls, oh my gosh, the pigmentation on those, it's phenomenal. It's phenomenal. And the fact that they're so buttery just makes the application even easier. So I really love the application of these shadows. I think I used I think I used all of them except the glitter. I didn't use the glitter today, but I did use every type of shadow, the matte, the shimmering pearl, and the topper. So you'll see that in the tutorial. You will see also that there's a little bit of fallout with the pearl. Now the matte shades, I didn't see much fallout with the mattes when I was applying them, but I did have a little bit of fallout with the pearl shadow that I used. So be mindful of that. If you're gonna do your foundation first, you know, use some type of powder underneath your eye so that it can catch that fallout, and then in the end you can just sweep it off with a brush. There is a little kickback to these shadows, so what I would do is just take my brush, dip it into the product, and then tap the excess off before I put it on my lid. That way you don't have a lot of fallout and it just doesn't go all over your face. Anyway, let's go ahead and get started with the tutorial. Okay, I'm gonna go in with the color Eden, that color right there. And I'll put that in my crease with a Morphe E27. I'm going to go in with a little bit more in the crease. This color is gorgeous and it goes on really nicely. It's very easy to blend into my crease. Now I'm going to take the Morphe M513 and I'm going to go into Amber, which is next to it. I'm sorry, I'm blinding you. And I'm gonna go into Amber. And I'm going to go into my crease with that color. Right over Eden. Okay, now I'm going to go in with this Smashbox. It's just a Smashbox brush that I got in a palette, but this brush is comparable to the MAC 217. I'm going to go in with Amethyst right here in the middle. Color right there. I'm kind of taking it in the outer corner, just right here, and then bringing it into my crease. These colors blend so well with each other. They're so buttery. Okay, next I'm going to take this Morphe E17 brush and I'm going to actually go into Royal. This color right here. And I'm going to place that just on the outer corner of my eye. Just over that Amethyst. I am getting a little bit of fallout with this color here, but I'll clean it up. Okay, so I think what I'm going to do is go ahead and take Amethyst and place it on my lid because I want to go in with Twilight over on top of my lid. So let me go in with Amethyst and place that on my lid. And I'm not putting too much on there because I'm going to go over it with Twilight. And I'm using a Morphe M205. And then I'm going to take my finger and I'm actually going to place Twilight on my lid. That is so pretty. So pretty. Okay, now I'm going to take the E27 brush and I'm just going to blend that top portion of my eyeshadow so that it just can look more blended. Okay, let me clean the fallout and I'll be right back. Okay, now I'm going to do the bottom lash line and I'm going to go ahead and go in the same order. I'm going to use Eden first on the bottom lash line. And I forgot to tell you I'm using the Delium Tool 780. It's just a pencil brush. Now I'm going to go in with Amber. And then I'm going to go in with Amethyst and bring that a little bit closer to the lash line. And then then I'm going to take Royal and go on the outside. Just right there on the outside. Let me go ahead and put some mascara on. So this is the finished eye look. Okay guys, that's the end of my review. I hope you enjoyed the tutorial. I hope it kind of showed you how well those colors actually blend together. And that topper is just, it's just beautiful. So formulation in these shadows is excellent. These are easily blendable. They're buttery, creamy. I recommend this palette to anyone who wants to buy one of her palettes. I love this palette, the rose gold one, and I mean, I would recommend this to anyone as well. But these shadows in this palette, they seem like they're a little bit more creamier than the shadows that are in the rose gold palette. They're still an easy application with this one, but I just feel like these are just so much easier to work with than the first palette. So I think it's going to be perfect for fall and going into winter. It's just a beautiful, gorgeous palette to have in your collection. So if you're going to buy one of her palettes, I would highly recommend this one. So thank you guys for joining me. I hope you enjoyed the review and the tutorial. I appreciate you. Subscribe if you haven't subscribed, and we'll talk to you soon. Bye.